So which books do you recommend?
This one, Amazon, or David Luzondak. Is it backwards in your screen?
Yeah, Thomas Myers, Robert Schlipp, and Carlos Tecco, they are all fascia.
They're experts. They wrote the
Yeah.
foreword to this book. It
Mhm.
talks all about it's the science of fascia, the science of fascia.
Does it also have practical tips
Yes, it
for
does talk
the
a little bit
for,
about
for
yeah,
the
yeah,
layman, for someone who is not a scientist and is less
yes.
interested in?
That's why I suggested it
Okay,
for someone who's not a scientist because it's you have to stick with it.
okay.
But even better than that is the Seven Whispers. This is called The Seven Whispers by Christina Baldwin. It's a
Can
book
you
of
raise it, Christina Baldwin? Uh-huh.
Christina Baldwin, The Seven Whispers.
What is it about?
It's about meditation. It's about focusing on thoughts. And the seven whispers, and this is to calm down the flow, to get more parasympathetic and less sympathetic, is by 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 meditating on these seven, one of these seven whispers every morning. I take it with me on trips on, so if I'm speaking, it calms me down and helps me to get centered. The seven whispers are these: maintain peace of mind, move at the pace of guidance,
Wow,
practice certainty of purpose, surrender to surprise,
wow.
ask for what you need, and offer what you can. Love the folks in front of you, and then return to the world.
Wow.
Those are the seven whispers. And I take one, I'll be on the road and I'll just open it up and see what I've underlined here. You can only serve the light to the extent that you can stand the dark.
You know, Carol, you seem, you radiate something very parasympathetic, and I am a highly sensitive person myself, so I can catch the energy that is coming from you. Did you work on it? Is it natural to you to be parasympathetic? Or
Well, I I certainly it's always been important to me to read the room. I was born into chaos. And so as a child, I had to try to figure out what was going wrong here and how I might help. Then I had to go through my own recovery because a child is not supposed to have to do that. And children who grow up helping everybody else first and themselves last suffer
yeah,
a lot. And so I had to go through what I call my own recovery. I had to get rid of my own negative thoughts and my own wounds. I had to heal my own wounds. As Ram Dass says, we're all wounded healers. And we have to heal ourselves so we can be present in a way to others. And that was rewarding in and of itself. And so I began to be rewarded by my own healing process. And the pain became less. I became less reactive. I became less judgmental. I
yes.
became less afraid and anxious. And I settled down. I settled down into myself. And then I discovered John Barnes and start my patient care, my physical therapy practice changed dramatically. I moved from trying to do the right thing for everybody according to the literature to what the science says to listening and being present and
And,
just
and, and
trying
be,
to help as
be
much as I
open
can.
to surprise.
It,
It's,
yeah, surrender to surprise.
yeah.
Exactly. And fascia will surprise you every day, every day.
Wow. I wish I would been living next to you. I would like to have
Well, thank you. That's a big compliment.
your hands on the fashion. Thank you so much,
Well,
Carol. I know you have to go.
it's been a pleasure. Thank you for listening so well and
Wow,
asking interesting questions.
it was Yeah, I had last question, but I don't want to keep you. It was
No,
about,
go ahead. We have 5 more minutes. Yeah.
it is about your inner self-talk, because I was listening to the saga of the healing journey with the Lyme, with the fracture, the sprain in the ankle, the fracture, then the falling. And I am interested what you were telling yourself at the difficult moments, at the, how it is called, the dark night of the soul, when these moments arrive.
Mhm.
What,
Yes, and they arrive for all of us, don't they?
of course, we are humans.
Mhm.
We are, by definitions, we are vulnerable.
I was very confused because I thought that what I was doing was useful. And I stopped being able to be useful. I had to stop everything. I was traveling too much. I was in sympathetic overload. I pushed myself to try to achieve, to try to justify my existence.
Exactly.
I thought that my birth was an accident. I was the second of twins. And my mother had a stroke. Our mother had a stroke 2 hours later and never was able to rear us. And I thought if she just would have stopped having babies with Sue and not had me, maybe this wouldn't have happened. Maybe she wouldn't have had that stroke. And so my whole life was driven by trying to justify my existence.
So you always felt with the sensation of never enoughness. I'm never enough.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so I achieved, I got a lot of awards. I moved up through the ranks and I did a lot. I traveled 2 weekends a month to different places in the country. I came back, I taught classes, I chaired a curriculum in a program, I led the faculty, and I burned out
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
time.
Of
I
course. Of
treated
course.
patients. And
It's
then what happened was I got to the point where I just had to pull back. I was treating anywhere from 6 to 7 patients a day, an hour apiece. And then I had pulled back to 5, and then I pulled back to 4, and then I pulled back to 4 every other day because I was too exhausted. And
true.
I came home from treating 4 patients one day and I lay on the couch and I was too tired to make lunch, too tired to put a salad together for my lunch. And I lay on the couch and I said, what is it? And I always ask my patients this, what are you learning from this that you couldn't learn any other way?
Beautiful
I asked,
question. Beautiful.
I asked, what is it? What am I missing here? Now, this was 8 years into my process, 8 years of trying, of enduring, of working, of doing everything right, of doing the exercises and working so hard. And I was exhausted and I got the message. I got this message. This is the grace. You have to learn that acceptance is very different from endurance.
Oh my God, this is poetry, what you are saying now. Acceptance is very different than endurance.
Anything less than acceptance has resistance to it. And when you have resistance, you have stress.
When you have resistance, you have stress. Yeah,
And
it's
I needed less stress.
of course. Yes, it's you remind me my own story. I can identify with each word and word of what you, yeah, and the idea. Oh, Carol, thank you so much for your vulnerability and for sharing and for all this
Yeah, it's my great pleasure.
knowledge.
Mhm. Thank you for asking me.
Of course.